Hello, my name is Morgan Larson. I work at Seattle Children's Hospital in the Child Life Department, specifically in play services. I work as a play specialist, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, thanks for joining us. So I'm curious, Morgan, if you can tell us a little bit about your facility's involvement with Project Sunshine.
So Seattle Children's has been involved with Project Sunshine for about 7 to 10 years. And pre-COVID times, Project Sunshine volunteers would come to our playroom, provide craft activities and in-person play with patients and their siblings. And since the pandemic, it has transitioned to TelePlay, which we have found to have more benefits because we are able to reach our patients who are in isolation in our cancer care unit who were never able to come to the playroom.
Wow, that's incredible. And so great that you're able to reach those children and families that maybe weren't able to experience our services before. Can you tell us a little bit about feedback that you've received maybe from those children or caregivers about TelePlay?
One story comes to mind. It was just a couple weeks ago, actually. I did an invite to a patient on the cancer care unit, and a mom ran after me and she said, Morgan, I want you to know that TelePlay has been the most beneficial thing for my daughter. I know she doesn't come every week, but this is the one thing she looks forward to while she's at the hospital. So I hope you can continue this service with Project Sunshine because it makes a difference, even if it's just 1 or 2 kids that show up. And to me, that was, it said it all. It said why we do this programming.
So Morgan, can you tell me a little bit about those volunteers that lead the sessions, the TelePlay sessions?
Yes, every volunteer I have worked with brings positive energy, excitement to every session. I can see that they bring their best self for our patients, which means a whole lot to us. And there is a story that comes to mind. It involves Melanie, one of our volunteers from the summer, and a patient who has lived at Seattle Children's essentially her whole life. And she also has a trach, and so she is nonverbal. Melanie picked up on this quickly, and to include this patient in our trivia game, she was asking her yes or no questions. So this patient really was involved and part of the game. And at the end of the session, she won Disney trivia, which was really exciting. And I saw this bond between Melanie and this patient that went on throughout the summer. And I felt really fortunate that I got to witness this connection and impact that Melanie had made.
Amazing. Sounds like Melanie is a really special person. So Morgan, can you tell me a little bit about how you interact with the volunteers?
I interact with the volunteers in a professional way, yet we humanize it because it's very important to make connections and build relationships with the volunteers because they are such a crucial part of our organization. And so I do make the effort to check in with them after each session to see how they feel it went, and then we can have discussions based off of that.
Perfect. And that's a great point to be able to sort of talk back with them and share the feedback that you had about the session and how it impacted your patients and families. So talking a little bit more about TelePlay, what are some positive things about the program that really stand out to you?
I could go on, but one big takeaway are the relationships patients have been able to build from TelePlay. An example is over the summer, there were 2 boys that joined us and they connected right away. And after the session, I delivered prizes for the game. And each caregiver asked if they could do a play session, just the 2 boys. So we did follow up on that. From beyond this, after they left the hospital, their relationship continued, and they also have similar medical histories. So this strong connection and bond that these two boys made would have never happened without Project Sunshine's TelePlay.
Wow, that's incredible. And so glad that we were able to connect those two patients together.
Pretty fun.
Is there anything, Morgan, that you might change about TelePlay?
I wouldn't say there's anything I would change. The only addition that I would love to see are for volunteers to have crafts themselves, because I've noticed when we have these beautiful crafts, and I'm at bedside with a patient, I'm essentially the one leading the crafts because the volunteers aren't familiar with the materials. So that's the only thing that I know would benefit TelePlay. But overall, we just have been so happy.
So Morgan, let's talk about, if you were to have a conversation with another medical facility, what would you tell them about TelePlay?
I highly recommend it. Play is a crucial part of the hospital, and Project Sunshine provides high quality, wonderful volunteers, and it makes it easy to bring play into the hospital setting.
And lastly, what would you tell a caregiver or a parent about TelePlay?
The accessibility is simple and easy. It's an opportunity for socialization, art projects, and have some fun at the hospital. And yes, even caregivers get to have some fun during TelePlay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Morgan, for your time. We really appreciate hearing from you, and we'll see you on a TelePlay session soon.
Thank you for having me.